Wrestling on weed.
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 Wrestling on weed. Subscribe today. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem.
It's time for the Blunt Ratings. If this is your first time tuning in, this is how the Blunt Ratings work. We take each show and break them down into 5 categories: matches, promos and backstage segments, storytelling, commentary, and the crowd. For each category, each show can get up to 5 blunts. The average score of those 5 categories stands as the official Blunt Rating. Those are the rules. Now let's get right into tonight's edition of the Blunt Ratings.
We want the smoke.
Song tour.
We want the smoke.
Uh-huh.
We want the smoke.
Smoke, ayy, we want the smoke, ayy, we want the smoke. You guys already know what it is. Your boy, Mr. HD, back in the building with another episode of the Blunt Ratings for this, what was yesterday? The 17th of October edition of Monday Night Raw. I think it was the 17th. Yeah, it was the 17th edition, October 17th edition. But we going to talk about the entire 3-hour show, which was definitely mid, if you ask me. And by mid, I mean mid-card. We're going to talk about all of it. I got jokes, obviously, but it's Tuesday, so you already know what time it is. I got the homie in the building with me. Hold on, Fizz. What's cracking with your homie? Hold on, let me get your camera in here. Boom. Got the homie Fizz in the building. What's cracking, brother?
What up, world? You know what time it is. It's your boy, Physics, a.k.a. Mr. Hennedy, a.k.a. Oh, baby, I like it raw. How y'all doing?
Baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Rest in peace, ODB. You know what I mean? Shit, man. You ready to talk about Monday Night Raw? It was a decent episode. I was sports entertained. It was definitely better than the Monday Night Football game. We gonna talk about it from top to bottom. What'd you think about the show overall?
I had a good time. This is what you do when you're stuck in between Crown Jewel and you can't really do anything until Crown Jewel is out the way, and then you can start Survivor Series in it up. So we're stuck in the middle, but being stuck in the middle don't mean it's a bad thing.
Facts. I agree 100%. Hold on, why did I start playing the music? Sorry. Wild Nation, what's going on? KGM, I see you in here. James, I see you in here. Thanks for being in here early. As always, Wild Nation gang. We out here. Yeah, man, I agree. I thought it was a pretty okay show. Like, it wasn't, there's no Bray Wyatt, you know what I mean? But it was still some good things happen and some weird things happen, but we're going to talk about it all. I'll let you start it off. How'd the show start off? Because it started off hot.
It started off with a very unsure Bobby Lashley feeling like he had no idea what to say. It makes me wonder how long he was actually out there before the camera started rolling.
Exactly.
And they were just like, "Fill time, Bobby."
Should I talk? Now?
And he was just like, "Get out of here, Brock. Get out here now, Brock. I want you out here now."
I wonder how many times he said that before the cameras actually started. He probably said that same line 3 times.
Because by the time he said it, it's just like he was unsure. Because he probably had said
now,
it so much.
Is it, are we on?
He probably had like a ton of fire, and then he got there and was just like, you know what? Here we are.
Exactly. Y'all playing.
But of course, the Beast Incarnate came out, and they clashed at ringside. Lesnar got the upper hand in the beginning, but then Lashley got up, speared him through the barricade. Several officials and wrestlers came to break it up. Of course, Shelton Benjamin was there cracking up while trying to hold back Bobby Lashley.
Why was he laughing? He's like, no, hey, Bobby, chill. Hey, Bobby, he's literally laughing like I'm laughing. Bobby, chill. I'm like, what's wrong with him?
But he made his way back to the back, and of course, the Beast was around the nine. Oh, and so he got speared through the barricade, and then there was supposed to be another spear through the table, but it didn't work. But that didn't stop Bobby. He picked Lesnar
Made
up,
it better.
and threw him right back down with his usual kind of like a
Power slam.
spine buster, but
spine buster.
power slam, spine buster to the table,
buster,
and of course that definitely worked. And it allowed Bobby to get all his heat back from the week before, which is what you should do when you have two men. Outside of the shaky start, is a great way for it to start.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a really hot opening to the show. I thought that, seeing Bobby Lashley go over at the end, when Brock Lesnar came out there, obviously not scared of nothing, came out there to Bobby again. You know what I mean? Seeing him, Brock get the upper hand, and then Bobby Lashley being able to turn the tables and walk away as the man standing up, and Brock selling the shit out of it was pretty awesome. I'm happy for Bobby. I'm a massive Bobby Lashley fan. I think he should be held in the same regard as Brock Lesnar. So I'm glad, maybe even in higher regard, because he's at work every week. I'm happy for Bobby. Definitely a good opening to the show.
So what happened next?
Well, after that, we got they announced they were going to be seeing the OC battle the Alpha Academy. I had my thoughts on that on Luke Gallows' Instagram post. But we did see the OC come out, and they came out with AJ Styles, obviously, because that's the squad. I like the little skit that they did before they came out when they were backstage, and the OC just looking like they trying to be scammers. You know what I mean? Just trying, AJ's like, come on, man, y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all keep trying to scam shit. They decided they were gonna show up tonight, apparently, on NXT to fight somebody. So for a paycheck, because they're all about that dollar bill. You know what I mean? They got kids. You know what I mean? Especially Carl. You know what I mean? A lot of them. So you know what I mean? Gotta get that money. You know what I mean? But out came
Carl is never that far from divorce. So.
I was about to say, isn't he divorced?
No.
They never got divorced?
Been called cheating plenty.
Yeah, no. That's why I was like, as many times he done been busted, I'm surprised. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I love seeing families stick together, but damn, bro, chill out. You know what I mean? So,
he still has his hot Asian wife.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. She's a forgiving hot Asian wife, clearly. They came out and they wrestled the Job Squad. Unfortunately, and this is my main complaint about this, because it's getting kind of frustrating. You know what I mean, with Alpha Academy, because I feel like Otis has become the best version of himself alongside Chad Gable, and Chad Gable is fucking Kurt Angle reincarnated, and they're not all they do is lose and look goofy, and it's just so frustrating. But the match was good. We got Chad Gable starting off against Carl Anderson. He had him in an arm wrench or whatever. Anderson got out of it at one point, then took him down in the headlock. These guys were kind of grappling a little bit for a while. Otis tried to get involved a couple times. What happened? Did he when he tagged Otis in, that's when he got punched, I think, and Gallows hit the running elbow on him, and knocked him, kept punching him or whatever. Then Gallows hit the ropes after that, and Otis stunned him with a back elbow. They call it the ham hock. They don't call it that. I call it that because that's what it looks like. Otis kind of ran him off at one point, but then got a serious big boot. Looked like the Undertaker big boot from Gallows. Really good big boot from Gallows. Then Anderson attacked Otis one more time. What happened after that? Gable got a couple cheap shots in. Tried to distract the referee. Otis did, and Gable sent Anderson into the ring post. We got a commercial break, then we came back, and Otis was tagged in at that point. Gable threw him into the corner. Otis hit him with the avalanche splash in the corner. Otis went for the Vader bomb, but Anderson moved just in time. Gallows tagged in at that point. Then Gallows ran wild for a while on both of them. The OC tried to hit the Magic Killer on Gable, but Otis broke it up, thankfully. Then Anderson got tagged in. Gable hit a Northern Lights suplex for a 2 count, which looks beautiful because everything Chad Gable does in the ring looks literally perfect. Gallows sent Otis into the ring steps. Gable went for a moonsault at that point, something else he does perfect. But Anderson got the foot up right in his mouth just in time, and then Gable grabbed the foot and went for the ankle lock, but Anderson got out and hit the double A spine buster. Gallows tagged in, and then they hit the Magic
Beautiful
Killer
spine
for the
buster.
win. Yeah, it was a pretty ass spine buster. It was a lot of good wrestling in this match. Like, it was a well executed
was
match. You know what I mean?
the most moving I've seen for the OC in WWE. Especially Gallows. I felt like the kicks that he was doing, especially when he just started kicking everybody in the head.
Yeah.
Vince probably put a kibosh on that because
Facts.
big men aren't supposed to be doing
Facts.
things like that. I
Facts.
mean, that's how Damian Priest wrestles. He
Facts.
wrestles with a lot of kicks, but
Facts.
we
He
don't
had a
see
good
them
big boot
as.
in his match too. Yeah, when he was out
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
But he was known in NXT as like the kicking guy. That was his thing. Even though
Facts.
he's around 6'6" to 6'8", he can
He looks
he can
6'11".
kick fools.
Yeah.
And Anderson did a lot in this match, and usually in the past he would not do much. So it was nice seeing him actually wrestle the style that they actually wrestle.
Yeah.
And the thing with the Alpha Academy, they're in this weird place where, like, I feel like whenever it's time to start taking those belts off of the Usos and they got to split them up, it would not surprise me if they randomly ended up winning it. And it'd be like the big surprise that nobody saw coming, but also it tells the story of the downfall of the Usos because of what's going on between them. Because technically they shouldn't lose to a group like that, but they could put themselves in a position to do so.
Then it's Hill versus Hill. They're going to have to turn them babyface at some point. Like, if they're going to do that, unless they're going to do like a fatal four-way tag team match. That would be dope.
I feel like outside of their beefing with Sammy, with them going against Alpha Academy, yes, they're both heels. I feel like it would eventually end up of Alpha Academy being the face in that match.
I can see that.
Due to, especially if they do something to Sammy before then. So
or if Alpha Academy like turns on Austin Theory and becomes babyface, goes babyface on Austin Theory. You know what I mean? Something like that.
So,
you know what I mean?
I mean, it's and like you could easily do Hill versus Hill. You just got to have somebody that's so bigger of a heel.
True.
That
it's kind of like Roman and Jake Paul or Logan Paul. It's like Roman's a heel, but everyone hates Logan Paul. Yeah.
So Roman is the face in the match.
Yeah.
He's going to be the face.
Facts. Just by default.
But that's just how it works. Like, that's the only way you can do the Hill versus Hill. You just got to have somebody that's so more diabolical that it just shifts the landscape.
What happened after the match? It was a good angle after the match. What happened?
After the match, we had Judgment Day come out. We had AJ Styles talk to the OC and took credit for starting the little club that everybody's been talking about. And he started out with coming out with some very sarcastic two sweets. We get a lot of back and forth. Of course, AJ Styles then looks at Dominic and basically challenges him to a match and say he's going to do what Ray couldn't do, and that's beat the piss out of him.
Facts.
And Dom was like, "Yo, I don't even got my clothes on, fam. Like, I can't be out here wrestling."
He pulled the Miz. It's like some shit the Miz would
do. I like that. Rhea was like, "Hey, you could do." He's like, "Yeah, I can do this. I can fight.
Yeah, you're right, Mom.
Put him up.
It was like his mom telling him, "Don't you come in here? You don't you get your ass whipped and come in here crying? You better go back out there." It sounds like my mom and shit. Don't come in here, that motherfucker hit you. You better hit him back. Oh man, but yeah, it was good. They challenged, and he reluctantly accepted the match. And man, was it a story? We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, Rhea whispered in his ear a little bit and got him to do that. But then we had a video package for Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley and everything that went on with them, with Seth winning the title or whatever. But then Seth made his way to the ring, obviously in a super good mood because he is the brand new United States champion, and he made sure to remind us of that. He said everybody that turned their back on him can kiss his big red behind, or because he's all red. He wears red a lot apparently now. But yeah, he's like makes sense. He's on Raw. I get it. But yeah, and then he said, but for the rest of you, we're in this together because you guys all sing my song because the crowd. I don't know if he's a babyface or a heel because everybody's saying like people love Seth Rollins. It's crazy, but it's just he got the Roman Reigns thing. Like when you're so good at your fucking job, people just appreciate you. It's kind of like
Oh, so he has a fire theme. That's the
and
unfortunate.
his theme is fire. It is fire with the
So
breakdown and everything is all fire. I can't even front on that.
I mean, you could easily you just pulled a Tommaso Ciampa if he just stops coming out to music.
Facts.
But the crowd would still do it. But
they would still do it because it's so easy. They were
Yeah.
chanting it a cappella when he was doing the promo, so they would do it either way. So he came out and he said, the crowd did start trolling him a little bit. Chan Yu tapped out when he started talking about how he's got to face Riddle again and what he gonna do to
he
him.
had to tap out for them. He did it for
Yeah,
them.
and then he said, I did it for y'all because I knew that I needed to be 100% to win this United States Championship. So, and I did it for y'all. So, don't worry about me tapping out. It wasn't nothing because I'm the United States Champion. And then that's when Mid-Card Mania began officially. We got Mustafa Ali coming out to interrupt Seth Rollins. And I got to admit,
We all saw this coming. We all saw this
yeah,
coming.
of course. They've been building towards this. And it was, I ain't gonna lie, Mustafa Ali was impressive last night, all night.
He's
like
good on
he's
the mic.
always had the fire. He's always had the mic skills. He's obviously great in the ring.
You just gotta give him a chance.
Just gotta give him a chance. Like he's so good, and he's been begging for a chance, man. Just a consistent chance against competition like this. And he basically said, Lashley was gonna give me the shot, you know what I mean? But he ain't got the belt. I'm trying to have a match with you, Seth. You know what I mean? And Seth, obviously is like, no. Seth like, nah, he cackles at him a little bit. He said, what he said, yeah, that fucking cack. He said, if he looks like, he said, do I look like Bobby Lashley? He said, get to the back of the line, kid. He said he's focusing on Riddle tonight. Ali has two options. He can party with all of them and celebrate the new champion, or he can skedaddle his way out of the ring because Ali doesn't belong in the same ring as him. Then he did his hyena cackle again. So that's when Mustafa Ali just grew it. His balls got a little bit bigger. And he took Seth's glasses right off his face. I was like, oh, shit. And they were some really ugly glasses. So I was very happy that he did it. It looked like some 3D astronaut glass. I don't know what the fuck him and Becky be wearing, but both of their stylists need to be fired. Looks like they got the same stylist. It's terrible. But he said, Ali said, you may be Seth freaking Rollins, but I'm your next freaking problem. I like that line. That was good. And Rollins says, he appreciates what he's trying to do, but, he actually respects him. He's a good guy. He's a good dad. Everybody loves him. And then he punched him in the face. It was so perfect. He was setting him up being on, hey man, everybody loves you in the back. You be helping people, all the wrestlers in the back. Everybody sees you. You're a great father, great man. Bow. I was like, damn. He lulled you to sleep and punched you in the face. And then they start brawling and Seth ran off. So yeah, man, it was good segment, good first segment, because he was definitely on the show again. But yeah, great showing by Mustafa Ali. And then we saw JBL's limousine pull into the arena. And Bailey was on commentary for the next match because what did we have, Physics? We
had a tag team match. We had Damage Control versus Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae. We had Bailey, like you said, Bailey on commentary watching the action. She called Io Sky Io Shirai, but hey, that's what happens when you change your name.
Yep.
Sky and LeRae began for their teams and had a nice exchange before Belair tagged in and began to assert her dominance. She even picked up a partner and used her as a weapon to knock her opponents down. Standard WWE tag bout. Both sides look good at various points. Had some decent double team spots. Sloppy a little bit. Did like the Candice LeRae jumping off the back. Senton bomb.
That was the crowd during the match.
I mean, that's a crowd for a lot of matches, unfortunately. We've seen him do that with fire matches. So,
so bad. Oh my god.
um, there were small things, but easily noticeable. Pay attention. They had a lot of time to work, which allowed them to make this fun without rushing from spot to spot. Kai and Sky scored the win because Belair was too busy dealing with Bailey on the outside. I would say the Belair using Lorraine as a weapon was nice, a little awkward, but that's because Bianca's not a tag team wrestler. That's not what she does. So that's probably something they came up with day of, and probably something Lorraine told her to do. Candice looked good during the match. And she didn't need much time to shake off the ring rust. She looks like she's back to where she is. And of course, the way Sky hit the mat when Belair and Lorraine hit a drop kick. The drop kick suplex looked super nasty, which was a dope move.
Yeah, it did. That looked gross.
But she didn't leave the ring. There was no X thrown up, so she was okay.
She was okay, thankfully.
But what I'm gonna say now is I get where we're slowly, this is going to Survivor Series, but I feel like we need to find, hopefully we need to, outside of, and this is unfortunately because it seems like they're the only other really good tag team was Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah, because they actually had the actual like when you're doing a tag team, you got to actually wrestle like a tag team, and putting it together. They were making it work.
Yeah,
putting together two people. Like WWE needs to start forming who these women tag team groups are going to be in WWE, and just make sure that that's what they're doing. Because put in a solo wrestler with somebody else, it doesn't do well.
Call up Toxic Attraction. Like, they need to do that ASAP.
They've been talking about it for weeks.
You know what I mean? They need to do that. And Mandy Rose. You know what I mean? That would just boost the women's division so much. Like, that's a feud right there. Toxic Attraction versus Damage Control. And it's actually two actual groups of women who aren't just like a makeshift team to go up against a squad like that. So I think that's something
and
right
for those
there.
not watching NXT, it is easy to turn Toxic Attraction to a face group.
Oh, yeah, exactly. People remember Mandy Rose. I mean, Gigi Dolan, I'm just a fan. Lord Jesus. It's like, damn. Yeah, and they got it. They're not the greatest in the ring, but they're doing their thing. Mandy Rose been champion for as long as Roman Reigns, it feels like. So yeah. I thought it was okay. I was bored. I ain't gonna lie. This match was not, it didn't do it for me. You know what I mean? It's like Bailey mentioned Asuka and Alexa Bliss at one point. Not you. Alexa Bliss at one point. So obviously they're still involved. They said they got rid of them, but I feel like they're going to pop back up in some form because, like you said, War Games Survivor Series is around the corner. So they got to make these teams. I assume it's going to be 5-on-5. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
and that's going to work. Their 3-on-3 work. That's because 3-on-3 is really just 1-on-1 every now and then. They had their 1-on-1 matches. You had your Asuka versus EO moments. You had your Bailey versus, like, you had your 1-on-1 moments throughout the whole thing. It's just that when you start doing the tag team thing, that's when it starts getting very iffy, when you don't have other tag team wrestlers in it.
Yep. Where's Sasha and Naomi? Give them their money.
And it's very rare. And it's very rare that, solo star wrestlers are actually good in tag team unless they started off as tag team wrestlers at one point. That's why when Steve Austin had to do the tag team thing, he was pretty good because he had been doing it for years before he ever got in the spotlight.
True shit. Up next, we saw Matt Riddle backstage being interviewed, and he had
a lot of Matt Riddle.
Yeah, a lot of Matt Riddle. Yeah, a lot of Matt Riddle.
Also, we got
Mustafa Ali too.
We got to state that this was a non-Triple H night. Triple H was not backstage last night. Supposedly, Road Dogg was the one running the show last night.
Interesting. That's That may tell some things, but that's an interesting point. I didn't know that.
Yeah, unfortunately,
was-
Hunter tested positive, so that's why.
Oh, I was just about to ask what happened. Where was he at? Okay. Damn, so he might not be there for next few shows then. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how that affects the
and
shows.
speedy recovery for him because we all know he had.
Oh
health
yeah,
issues
he already
earlier
has
with
health issues.
heart
No,
and everything. So yeah,
that sucks. Oh man, damn.
hopefully it's not the serious.
Nah, oh man. Oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, because you know you already got pre-existing conditions. That just makes it worse. Sheesh, that sucks. Get well soon, Hunter. That sucks. Especially right now, man. Obviously for his family, but damn it, the man just finally got his dream job locked in, and damn, man, that sucks. Get well soon. He'll be back at the desk in a couple weeks. I ain't worried about it. Yeah, so we saw Matt Riddle being interviewed backstage. He was just being asked about what Seth said, and he basically saw Ali just randomly came out of nowhere and just started talking to him and just, oh man, I'm gonna go beat Seth tonight, and when I win, you're gonna be, I'm gonna give you that shot that you deserve. And they were all buddy at that point. And then they saw the Miz also out of nowhere. I'm like, I ain't even hear it. Wouldn't you hear it if any of these, they were 5 feet away from him and no one saw him pouring the water on him? No one saw this happening. It was a whole group. It was cameraman. None of the cameraman was like, hey, check him out, pouring water on the ground. Like, nobody. They're all 5 feet away. So fucking annoying, these backstage segments sometimes. It's like, at least have them walk around the corner. Like, at least have somebody, you hear the slip or something. But they turn to the camera, and Miz is on the ground holding his fucking knee. Like, oh, I can't wrestle, because obviously he has a match with Dexter Lumis scheduled for later in the night, and he's trying to get out of it, weasel his way out of it any way he can. And yeah, he said he couldn't compete. He needs help, and told them to get a doctor. And they were like, yeah, okay, bro. So, after that, we saw the Judgment Day talking backstage. That's when Cora Jade, another NXT superstar, came up and asked Rhea Ripley if she could fight Roxanne Perez for it tonight. And Rhea said, sure, I'll do it. But she didn't ask to get paid. So obviously the OC are smarter than Rhea Ripley. Yeah, and then we had Mid-Card Mania just got out of control for a long, long time. And when I say a long time, I mean a long, long, long time. This went on for like 30 minutes. It was a 30-minute. It's like they should have just had JBL do commentary the whole show.
Some respect on the modern day wrestling.
Oh my God. No, my God, no. Oh my God, no. I can't take it.
Yo, but I loved all the Oklahoma.
Oh, that was JBL was gold. First of all, JBL was he was perfect.
It's always great when a wrestler can do the let me be very sincere. Like I got something to say off the top of my my heart. And then just take you. He was like, oh, because the way his face looked, you're like, wait, what's going on? And then he was like, and nope.
Like trolled the shit out of them. Like, I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, hate this place. I was like, oh my God. And you felt it because he's from Texas.
He was like, we just go over the Red River.
Yeah, it's like Texas, Oklahoma hate each other. There's like a real rivalry. They do not like each other. So it was a great promo by JBL. And
yeah, Baron Corbin's back. He's no longer happy.
First of all, his gear. Was he Seth Rollins? What were you doing?
He's at the slots. He's at the slots.
But
he's
the
gold,
gear,
baby.
The gear,
gold, baby.
But the vest, it was
gold,
ugly.
baby.
It was just, it was like loose fit.
We're getting back to the 80s and 90s. All ugly wrestling gear. We're getting back to it.
I guess maybe that's what it is. That was just bad. I'd rather see him in some Stone Cold Steve. I just put on some black tights and just call it a day. You trying too hard with some of that shit. Yeah, but JBL's out there to put over Baron Corbin, who's now back to just being Baron Corbin, not King Corbin, not Happy Corbin. He still got a trash theme. His theme is garbage. Bring back the old Lone Wolf theme. That shit was fire. I don't know why they won't bring that back. I think he's still using like the Happy Corbin shit.
I think CFO did that.
Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, they need to do something. Just remake it in a different way. Put some different instruments. You know how I work with music. Like, just redo something like that. You know what I mean? Because that shit was fire. That shit he came out to last night was like, bro, this shit is terrible. What, what is this?
Most of them sound horrible now.
Yeah, you're right. A
because
lot
they
of
don't
theme
have-
songs sound terrible. Candice
Yeah.
LeRae's is
It-
okay. Even though it sounds generic, it's okay. It's a good generic track.
Yeah, but I
you know
think,
what I mean?
but that was also her. They had that before.
Oh,
she
okay.
Came
Okay.
up. So,
Okay. Cool.
yeah, it's like if you weren't in that CFO timeline, and yours didn't hit off, and they just were like, "Shit, we got to keep it," like Bianca.
Right. Can Triple H bring CFO back? Nigga? Like, we need to make that a priority.
I hope so. Or grab somebody. I mean,
Yeah, we need to make that a priority.
We've got a rest. You know, this is the first era of actually having hip hop start off a
That's true.
You know, WWE show.
It's usually
get
rock
some
music.
producers. Like we can easily shift everything.
Get Josiah to do some people's themes like he did in NXT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was murdering them shit. He does dope things.
Cameron Grimes is
that's Josiah shit.
That one little promo,
Mhm.
which I really felt like that was not supposed to be a theme, but it was so fire that it turned into a theme.
Facts. But he buried Rey Mysterio because obviously JBL and Rey Mysterio have a long history. Rey Mysterio is the one who beat him for the title after he had it for like 75,000 years. So they have a long rivalry. Goes back in the history books. So he was burying Rey Mysterio during his promo and compared him to Dolph Ziggler. It said Dolph Ziggler's been stealing money from the company for 15 years, which is maybe not 15 years, but definitely for a few years. It was the first time seeing Dolph Ziggler. When they said that's who his opponent was, they started listing off his accomplishment. I was like, who the fuck is he fighting? He getting a real feud? And then he said Dolph Ziggler. I was like, fuck.
Dolph Ziggler's done it all.
I was like, oh my God.
He's a Hall of
that's
Famer.
What he is, man. I'm a big Dolph Ziggler. I was a big Dolph Ziggler fan, but at this point, man, I'd rather see the Dirty Dogs. Like I know Bobby, you know, he's hurt, but I'm just like, I'd rather see him in bolster the tag division. Put him in the tag. I don't need to see Dolph Ziggler in singles matches, even though he's great at putting people over. It's just like, you know, he's gonna lose. So what the fuck is the point? But yeah, and then after the 10 minutes talking segment of JBL putting over Baron Corbin, then we had the longest match of the night. I'm pretty sure this shit went on forever. It was like 2 commercial breaks. The wrestling was the wrestling. Like, you seen the Dolph Ziggler match, you know what happened. It was some super kicks. He hit a zigzag. It was the same shit. Baron Corbin didn't really add new moves to the repertoire. Like, it's all the same shit. And that's why I was like, I have zero interest in this match. And I really hope it was just a one-off thing, like Baron Corbin's back. Just put him in the ring with somebody so he can have a good match. But this shit went on way too fucking long, bro. Because the crowd was dead. You know what I mean? The crowd was like, man, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Outside of, but this is the thing. OKC is this type of place. Outside of what, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, they were pretty much dead. And the Heat for Judgment Day. So like
Dom had heat, and JBL had heat. They were hot for the promo segments.
But I said outside of Judge, because even when Brock came out, the usual huge roar when Brock came out,
it wasn't really there.
It wasn't there. It was just like,
hey, it's Brock. Cool.
But it was
I
hope y'all know we don't Raw and stuff like that really don't begin Brock Lesnar like that. So it was like, to be a city that gets them, they as far as a crowd, they like OKC were just like, yeah. But that's the thing, and that's why with AEW they're very adamant about the places they pick, because they always want hot crowds. How crowds change how everything goes, and when you have a crowd that is too cool for school, that's just what happens.
Yeah. And this match
like
was good.
We didn't get a what chant. That tells you everything.
That's how you know they don't care, especially when JBL was out there. Yeah,
and nobody whatted at all. And that's
especially
weird.
with JBL. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. But the match, they wrestled a good match. It just really went on too long for these two. Like, no one wanted to see a 25-minute Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin match on Monday Night Raw. No, nobody asked for that. But Baron Corbin's back. I hope he fixes his gear because that shit just looks stupid. But Baron Corbin is a troll. He say he does shit just because he knows we're gonna hate it. So maybe that's what he's doing, and it just makes us hate. But I feel like it just it makes us not take him seriously. Like, cause that theme song in his gear is just like, I can't take him seriously.
He had one good new move. The reverse suplex was good.
Oh, I did like that. I did want to mention that. That was kind of sweet. That was like, I was like,
he ain't gonna be able to do that with everybody. You gotta have somebody with a good core, and that's why Ziggler worked for that. But,
yeah. That was a fire move. The reverse. It was like, just a reverse standing inverted or whatever you want to call it suplex. It's like turned into an RKO suplex RKO. I was like, yo, that shit's fire. So he did add one new move to the repertoire. So I'll give him that.
And we all know
that was kind of the best spot. Yeah,
and he has one of the best finishers.
Yeah, his finishing move.
Even though it was like the fact that he can pull it off on so many people, and I was like, it looks like just a lot of effort on his end to do.
It is. I mean, it is. Both people got to work together to hit that because usually the wrestler got to make sure that their knees are tucked so their feet ain't dragging. They got to make sure they helping them with the momentum so they swing over. But yeah, it looks like a devastating move once it connects. So I love it. Yeah, he definitely has one of the best finishers. But he did get the win. So he's back, and then we saw the Miz in the training room area backstage and getting his knee looked at, and Byron Saxton
told him to do the surgery right now.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Cut me open.
What? I was like, what is wrong with this dude? He's back there begging for help, and Byron Saxton came back there to troll him. Like, so you gonna wrestle or nah? He's like, clearly I can't wrestle. I'm hurt. I don't want nothing to do with this crazy person. And then Johnny Gargano walked by the door and was like, hey, is that Dexter Lumis? And then Miz jumped up and obviously was standing on both his legs, showing that he wasn't hurt at all and was just faking, obviously, something that we all knew from the beginning. And yeah, then all of a sudden, Johnny kept trolling him, talking shit to him.
I like that they kept the fact that the way was a thing. That they're not acting like it didn't exist. Also, Indy Hartwell got mentioned by Bailey earlier in the night, which makes me feel like
who did
all of them? Indy. She got mentioned by Bailey earlier in the night because of course, Candace being in the ring.
She needs to be called up too.
Well, the rumor is that Indy's going to be a part of Damage Control when they do Survivor Series War Games. That she's going to come up. I feel like this was going to happen. She's going to come up. Candace thinks that they're going to be a team, and then she's going to turn on Candace, and then she's going to join them.
Indy Hartwell as a heel. She's so likable as a babyface.
She's gonna be a heel when it comes to what's it called? She's gonna feel like she got left behind and stuff like that. That's what they could easily use.
I mean, I guess they definitely could go that way. But yeah, he really knows.
They were hot, and then she was she was by herself.
Right. Yeah, she was kind of by herself. I mean, Dexter sent her a little love letter when he first came back. He remembers her. You know what I mean? I feel like
and he saw her in the ring
end
the
up
week
back
after
together.
He came back.
Yeah, I feel like they got to end up back together. I need Index in my life. That was good, man. I like that whole thing that they were doing.
They could work. I mean, obviously, Miz, Maurice. It's already set.
You got matches right there. You got a match right there. What are we doing? We got a match right there. It's WrestleMania.
I feel like it's gonna happen.
Come on. Miz is the celebrity match.
You know how it could happen? Explain what the Miz did, and then I can tell you how it could happen.
Okay, all right. So the Miz basically jumped up and showed that his leg was fixed, and said, I'm gonna do what I do. And then what do you mean? What else did he do after that?
So we also then had he jumped Dexter Lumis.
Oh yeah. Okay, that was later. Yeah.
That happens later in the night. But we'll just put it all together.
Oh my God, bro. Okay. So he beat the shit out of him with the chair, right? And obviously he wasn't hitting. He was literally bashing the ground with the top of the chair, which made the chair bend up. Did you see how the chair was broken?
Yeah.
Okay, so he could have killed that man. Was I the only one that noticed that the metal was like poking up and then he skull crushing finale that man into like a spike? I was like, wait a minute. So is he actually dead? Because the chair was broken. It was like metal sticking up. And his face like lit. I was like, please God, tell me he like put his arm down and like flattened the chair out as he went down. But if he falls down the wrong way, like he's being forced onto a piece of metal that's poking up, it was a sharp. I was like, he's gonna kill him. I was like, Miz didn't notice what he just did to the chair before he slammed that man's face onto it. Like, come on, man. That just didn't seem safe. You know what I mean? It just didn't. You are.
I mean, safe and the Miz don't really go together.
I
all the
mean,
time,
Miz is
so.
kind of a safe go. He protects himself. You know what I mean? He doesn't get hurt. You know what I mean? He protects himself. He makes sure he's safe. But goddamn, man, that shit scared me, bro. Like I was, because as soon as he was setting it, I was like, oh, he can't slant, like the chair's broken. He can't, like, don't do that. And then he did it. I was like, no, please, ambulance now. Call 911. He killed someone. So I'm really, really glad that Miz wasn't, or that Dexter wasn't actually hurt, even though he didn't pick his head up, which led me to believe even more that maybe he did get cut or busted open and he just didn't want to show it. Like he literally didn't take his face off the ground. And, you know, you could just look at that as him selling it, or maybe he actually got hurt. I want to see his face. You know what I mean? See if anything actually happened, because that was scary. Like, honestly, that was scary. Like, he could have impaled that man's neck or face or some shit, and we'd be having a whole different mood right now. But then we saw MVP.
No, so after that, we had a run-in with, again, Johnny Gargano and The Miz, and he told him that was not a good idea.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he
when
was
he
like,
did
if
that.
you don't face him, I'm going to blow the whistle. But also, he had mentioned, like, you know, you just need to face him. If you don't, he's going to keep coming after you. You got family, you got kids. I feel like possibly if you wanted to bring Indy in, the best thing you could do is, due to the Miz attacking him that way, now Indy is pissed off, and now she's going after Maurice.
Yeah. Oh, that works. Yeah, that could definitely.
So all
work.
the stuff the Miz went through, now Maurice is going through, and then she's going to be like, you have to face him so this can eventually stop. Like, it's not going to stop until you actually get in the ring with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Makes
And
sense.
then you get the match at it's gonna be a match at War Games. You just we're slow processing. I was like, too much has happened just to have it as to be on Raw.
Because
So
we do have a good amount of time before War Games, because we got Crown Jewel. So yeah, I hate when they're building the two pay-per-views at once. It gets a little confusing, but you know, they're not mentioning War Games or anything yet. They're kind of just building towards it without mentioning it.
They gotta get Crown Jewel out the way.
Yeah, facts. But then going back a little bit, we skipped ahead, but going back, we saw Amos and MVP. MVP just cut a promo saying Amos is better than Braun Strowman, basically. Yeah, I was like, is he gonna say something? No, he just pounded his fist together. Cool. And then they show
Monsters in the Ring. That's another pay-per-view.
Oh God, no. We're cutting back the pay-per-views. You heard the news.
I'm not cutting back pay-per-views. I'm saying that's another pay-per-view match.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's WrestleMania. I wish they were holding that off to WrestleMania, but it's going to be Crown Jewel. They're doing it at Crown Jewel. Clearly, I wish it, but you know, Crown Jewel. I feel like, you know, even with the news, they're taking away some of the pay-per-views to do more of those events like Cardiff and all these things overseas where they could sell out stadiums 60, 70,000, because these people, it's like their WrestleMania because they only get these shows once a year. I think that's actually a genius idea by Triple H. Like, just keep the big 4 or 5. I say 5, including
no more day one.
Nah, that shit's dead. You know what I mean? They can get rid of
What
Hell.
we doing with Brock? Because that was what Brock was for.
I mean, I don't know.
They had Brock. They had Brock set up for it. So
yeah, that was the TV network thing. I feel like just some for Fox when they started doing that day one shit. But yeah, I don't think it's really.
The Usos only got one pay-per-view. They only got one pay-per-view.
The who?
The Usos, day one.
Are you stupid? That was
like the Rock SmackDown,
right? Yeah,
Rock SmackDown, day one.
Yeah, That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Maybe that's another reason they got rid of it, because the We the Ones and the Day One Ooze, maybe it's like, all right, that's their gimmick now. We can't give them their own pay-per-view. They're not the heads of the table. Uh, so, so, yeah, that's actually funny. I didn't even think about that shit. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this. What happened after we saw Amos in MVP? What happened after that? Cameron Grimes showed up on the show.
Yeah, and that's when we already
that's
talked
when
about
they
it,
did the
kinda.
whole finesse thing. Yeah, I talked about that earlier in the show.
Crypto.
Yeah,
And it was like crypto ain't like that anymore. Yeah, I don't know why y'all are doing this.
It's definitely dead. I lost a bunch of money. Well, I didn't lose a bunch of money. I made a bunch of money and then lost it. So it's never fun. Should have cashed out. Let's see. We had they announced that Crown Jewel, Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar made official. We all saw that coming. Looking forward to that match for sure. Bobby better win. Then we have
And earlier tonight we made it official of Judgment Day versus the OC.
Yes,
at Crown Jewel as well.
Yes, that's going to be another good one. Looking forward to that as well. And then we had probably my favorite thing of the night, and that was AJ Styles versus Dom Mysterio. And the match was good because AJ Styles makes every match look good. Dom Mysterio still needs to stop trying to do the 619 because that shit looks like it's going in slow motion. Looks like it goes at -3 times speed every time he does it, and I'm just like, I can't watch. So he looks.
But it worked. It looked really good. Missing it though.
Yeah, missing it works because you get the whiff, you get a little extra rotation, you speed it up a little bit in the middle when it's like.
Because that Styles duck and just how perfectly timed. Because of course Styles has to look at the TV camera. I mean the Titantron. But even looking at Titantron, it's a little bit delayed, so you got to get it correct.
You got to time that shit perfectly. You know what I mean, when you taking it, you could just sit there until you get kicked in the face and then sell it. But when you're trying to duck it, it's definitely a different. See, that's why a lot of the time they have people pull the person out the way or something like that. So
or they grab the legs because at least you know he's in front of you.
Exactly. So this match was good, man. They did all this stuff. AJ Styles looked like he was gonna win with a calf crusher at one point when he locked that in, but Mysterio was able to get to the ropes.
Dom made his way over there.
Yeah, he got his way to the ropes or whatever, to the squad. Then what happened
and he
towards
was bumping
the end of the match?
He was bumping and selling well.
Oh,
shout out to Dom.
Dom didn't look bad.
Well.
Dom didn't look. He's good at selling. It's the wrestling. It's the offense that looks clunky when he does it. Like he can sell really, really well. I'll give him that. But it's just the offense that looks. It looks like he's thinking a lot when he's out there. It still looks like he's thinking a lot.
He needs to build up a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
He kind of got thrown into the WWE system where at least with Ray was just he was around it, but he started just small off shows and stuff like that before getting to where he was. I feel like if he could build his confidence up and be even more of a cocky but very reassuring, like he knows he's the man type dude when he's wrestling, it will make all the difference.
Yeah, it's you can see it coming though. You can see it like it's developing. He just needs more time. I think him being with the Judgment Day was the perfect call for his career, getting him away from his father, who's just standard white meat baby face, always and forever will be that. And Dominic needed something different, and I feel like maybe in 2 or 3 months we might be talking a little bit differently about him. But the match ended after he did get to the ropes when AJ locked in that calf crusher, and then AJ got distracted by Rhea Ripley, and she grabbed his foot and allowed Mysterio to roll him up and squash him down for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Most devastating move in pro wrestling, the roll up. Shout out to Simon Miller.
And AJ was shocked.
Yeah, I mean everyone was. Even I was shocked. Like I actually kind of popped. I was like, oh I was like, wait a minute.
But that's how you advance the storyline.
It was great. It was a perfect ending. It made perfect sense because I was like, Judgment Day is too hot. They can't have him in there losing matches. Like Dom can't look like the son for real and just go out there and lose and shit. So this was perfect. You know what I mean? They're making them look like a group. And, the OC just got back together. So you can't, bring them in and have them, automatically beating Judgment Day when you've been building them so strong over the past few months. So it was the perfect decision for an M.
And perfect way of using a distraction for a loss, and they
Yes.
didn't, because WWE, especially Raw, is very it can get very heavy handed with the
On the
distraction
distractions,
losses.
yes. Oh, it's 5 a week.
But this was a perfect way of using it.
75% of the matches ending with somebody being distracted. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. I mean, AEW ain't no better. It ain't no better on Dynamite. They
I
do
mean,
the same shit.
it's the way of extending matches until you face at a pay per view
Yeah,
without
it is.
somebody losing clean. You lose clean at the pay per views unless you're still going to continue the storyline after the pay per view.
Yeah, indeed. Then after that, we had Miz backstage. We saw him, and Gargano warning him, like you said earlier. Yeah, they had their match, but they didn't have the match because he killed him, like we talked about earlier. Somebody check on Dexter Loomis. I'm actually really worried about that man. Like, I need to see a drawing posted. I'm okay, like a tweet. I'm okay. I'm still alive. Like, I need to see something. But Byron Saxton was backstage with Damage Control. He asked them what's next in line for them. And Bailey said she needs to appreciate the now, that he needs to appreciate the now. And then that's when she started asking, where's Alexa Bliss? Where's Dakota Kai got right here? Where's Asuka? And Io Sky's like, she's gone too. And Bailey says that Raquel and Shotzi should be watching because they don't stand a chance on SmackDown when her girls beat them down. Bianca Belair, she said Bianca Belair didn't pin her at Extreme Rules. Dakota Kai looked a little salty about that. She said she'll show Bianca Belair what happens when she's in control because we're going to have Bianca Belair and Bailey next week.
Also, we forgot to mention that Cora Jade showed up earlier in the night and asked Rhea Ripley.
No, we mentioned it. We talked
poison.
about that.
Oh, we did?
We talked about that. Yep. And then they announced that the return of Elrod, sorry. Elias was next. So yeah, it was like, all right. We talked about Gargano and and all that, him telling Miz to come clean, and it was a little weird. I'm still worried about what's happening. You automatically go to Miz being touched in all the wrong places. It's like, what is this story? What are they doing? Are they friends? Or do they have like a fantasy football club? It reminds me of the scene out this movie.
You heard what
they're like hanging out.
You heard what Johnny Gargano said. He said you need to say what happened, or I'm going to blow the whistle. So something happened. We don't know what it is. Only the Miz, Dexter Loomis, and Johnny Gargano do.
I wonder how Johnny knows. I guess because him and Dexter.
Well, because Dexter actually talks to him.
Right. He's probably the only one he talks to.
That was the thing. He was like, we talk all the time.
Yeah.
It was just not on camera, unfortunately.
Right. I'm intrigued by the story. It's finally coming to a culminating end, I guess, as far as the storyline, and now I'm intrigued on it. What
I wouldn't be surprised it is?
What?
He got Dexter Loomis fired. And that's why he is going after him the whole time.
I mean, why would he get Dexter Loomis fired though?
They probably had some backstage run-in, and the Miz being the Miz, feeling like he's Hollywood, was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he needs to be gone if you want me to be wrestling. And then we just go from there.
It could work. It could.
And that's why you're showing up to him and kidnapping him and just making his life a living hell, because you made my life a living hell for those few months.
Wait a minute, is that true, Grust? Elias was the burnt fiend at WrestleMania? That's not true. Shut up, man. I was like, what? Alexander Wolf coming back to join Imperium? That would be cool. I mean, Imperium's fine how they are, honestly. You got a tag team and you got the dominant, potential world champion. I think they're fine without Alexander. You add the fourth guy, then it kind of throws off some feuds. But, having an extra guy does make you even more of a heel, more heelish.
But it brings war games.
Yeah, it definitely helps with war games. Definitely helps with that. I think Braun Strowman and Amos should be in war games on opposite teams. I think they should run it back. If they're gonna run it back, you know what I mean? They should do it in war games. Have them be the fifth person on each team. Laylo, it's Ring of Honor, not AEW. Come on, man. It's okay. It's Ring of Honor W. Ring of Honor Elite Wrestling. I don't. It's like more Ring of Honor shit on AEW TV than actual AEW shit. So yeah, I agree with you there. Let's wrap up this review though. We had the United States Championship match between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. It was a really good match. I don't care because I didn't want to see it. That's as much
Also,
as I
we
care
had
for
we
it.
had Elias out there the whole time because he kept getting everybody kept cutting in. First, it was Matt Riddle, and then
Yeah.
Seth Rollins did, and this led to Elias being on the outside.
Yeah, it was like the whole Elias getting interrupted trope didn't stop just because he was gone for a while because Matt Riddle came out and asked him. He came out with bongos and then said, "You want to hit my bong?" It was like, all right, Matt, more funny weed jokes. I mean, obviously we support that over here at Wild Nation. But yeah, it led to a good match. They already had the blow off, the fight pit. So you knew that nobody could lose this match. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have made sense for anybody to lose this match. Like Matt Riddle just won the feud technically, and Seth got the United States Championship. They both got, so
But
they
this is the
both
blow
got
off
something
food
out
for
of it.
Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was
Now
more. It was
Rollins
more
has
about the
two people
angle.
two
ahead.
people going for his belt. Technically, three people going for his belt. Now two people going for the belt and one person going for him. The way now this is all set up.
Yeah. It was cool. Towards the end of the match, Rollins went for a top rope frog splash. Man, that's a mouthful. But Riddle countered and put him in the triangle. Looked like he was gonna tap him out for a second, but Rollins picked him up and then slammed him. Rollins did a sweet ass move off the top rope. What was it? It wasn't a Falcon Arrow. It was, I can't fucking really remember what the move was, but then he hit the Falcon Arrow once he landed. It was pretty as shit and looked like it took
the reverse one.
Yeah, it looked like it took a shitload of core strength. So Rollins obviously is one of the best. Elias obviously was, getting involved in the match. He approached Rollins at one point. Rollins was like, hit me, but Elias wouldn't hit him. Then he just super kicked him, so Elias should have hit him. Then Riddle attacked Rollins, pushed him back in the ring. Riddle hit a snap power slam followed by a draping DDT. Then set up for the RKO, pounding the mat, but Riddle went for the RKO and Elias got in the ring. Rollins countered and threw an elbow at Riddle and he threw Riddle into Elias and then followed that up with a stomp on Riddle to get another win over Matt. So it's just like, damn. I know there was some interference and all that, and I'm a little confused. Are we gonna get Riddle versus Elias, Seth versus Elias, which would technically be the same person fighting each other? It's like I don't know what the outcome of this is supposed to be, but immediately after the match,
Elias is going to be beefing with is going to be beefing with Seth.
Okay.
Bobby Lashley still has Seth in his eyes, and then the person that came up next is going after the belt as well.
Right after that, Rollins hit Elias with a stomp, so he stomped them both down, and then he was standing tall in the ring with the championship before and about to stomp Riddle one more time with the belt under his face, but then that's when Mustafa Ali came sprinting out and cut him off. Yeah,
perfect
timing.
Spear before the stomp.
Yeah, facts. He definitely
that was good on both their ends.
It was
because Rollins had to start moving as soon as he knew that Mustafa could get into the ring to spear him. It was perfect timing.
Rollins' timing in the ring is probably his best attribute. Like he's as far as being a ring general and pro wrestling skill set. I feel like his timing on everything he does is probably one of his best attributes. But Ali came in and beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Literally threw him all over the place, ran him into the barricade, clotheslined him, or he just fucking him up, and Rollins ran off.
When Seth was near the table, that man took off so far. You do that jumping punch.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Like, I didn't think he was gonna make it, but he took off. he was trying to go from the free throw line with that.
Did he
punch
like
on
stand
Seth.
on? Did he like run and stand on? It looked like he launched
No, he
himself off
jumped
or something.
over
He
it.
just
He
jumped.
just
Yeah. Okay.
he
Okay.
just jumped.
I thought he stood on
That's
something.
why I thought he was
and
gonna come up
yeah,
short.
that was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. He just dove on Seth, started beating the shit out of him, and threw him over the barricade. And Seth ran off. While he was getting yelled at. I'm your problem. I'm your problem. I'm the problem now. So it's really good showing. Mustafa Ali looks like a serious contender. He's in the main event segment of Monday Night Raw, which is obviously a far cry from where he was under the old regime, where they didn't really take him seriously. A lot of start-stop pushes. I feel like this is his first legitimate opportunity at superstardom, at being, an actual WWE superstar. You know what I mean? So I'm rooting for him.
That match
Yeah.
is gonna be at War Games.
Seth versus Mustafa Ali for the U.S.
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, that's a War Games match right there.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I hope that card isn't too loaded though, because how many War Games matches you think they're gonna have? 2, right? Just 2?
They don't, men and women. That's it. And
Yeah,
then you gotta
just-
have
okay.
matches around that, and that's gonna be a match
Probably
around.
like 3 more matches. Yeah, so I guess that would probably be one of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a okay edition of Monday Night Raw, man. You guys let me know what you think about it in the chat.
I see Gruss and of course Kid Get Money talking about Almost, and we gotta let everybody know that Almost is now exclusively, and this is the reason why they did that promo, that he's exclusively SmackDown now. So he's moving on.
Wait a minute, really?
Yep, he's
And
moving to SmackDown.
And Strowman's on Raw?
SmackDown.
Right.
No,
So okay,
they're
so
both
he's,
there.
Huh.
That
Okay.
was a warning shot to let him know he's coming. Because
And
monsters
they
don't
they
exist,
made it
but
official.
giants do.
Gotcha. They made it official. Cool. I mean, yeah, you want those guys both on the, unless you're gonna keep having them do squash matches with jobbers. Like nobody
Nope,
wants to
they
see
gotta
that.
eventually face each other.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that anymore. It was cool. It wasn't even cool while it was happening. So I don't even know. I was about to lie. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see no more dominant people come into the company and have to face local talent. Like, there's too many people on the roster. You know what I mean? You willing to job out Alpha Academy, but you can't find somebody for Braun Strowman or Almost to face in the back. You know what I mean? It don't make no sense. But whatever.
I mean, Braun Strowman did face Alpha Academy
Yeah.
his first few weeks back.
He did.
So.
He definitely did. He squashed them like they were jobbers. They're definitely the job squad. Lesnar and
Except,
Lashley would be a trilogy.
But
Yeah.
let's say, yeah, he squashed him. But hey, it made fuck. Why am I forgetting his name right now? Not Otis, but
Chad Gable.
Yeah, they made Chad Gable look good because that man hit the suplex.
Yeah,
on
that
him.
suplex. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, everything. Chad Gable don't need no more credibility in the ring, in my opinion. He should be fighting for the world title. That's how I feel about it. You know
in
what I
the
mean?
next
It's
6 months, and I'll put it down for next 6 months. In the next 6 months, Alpha Academy
they
will
gotta
be
be tag team champions, bro. They're, in my opinion, they're like second or third best tag team in the company. And then you got the Viking Raiders coming back, obviously, who I also think is one of the best tag teams in the company. Like, I'll put a lot of those teams over the New Day right now because
the OC
New
is
Day's
going to take
missing
the
a
belts
large
off of
element.
Alpha Academy.
You got the OC, yeah. Yep, there you go. You know what I mean? So, they got a tag division in development. You know what I mean? Like with real tag teams. They need to do the same thing on the women's side. Give us some more real tag teams. You know what I mean? I would love to see fucking Kairi Sane come back. We saw Sasha tweeting some shit out, teasing a New Japan match between her and Kairi. I would love to see Kairi come back. She was like great when she was over here in tag teaming with Asuka. Like her and Asuka would be an amazing tag team all over again. The Kabuki Warriors were dope as fuck soon as they got rid of Paige. They were dope. You know what I mean? It's like, no offense to Paige, but that didn't work. You know what I mean? With her out there being a manager. But they have some things. Well, you can't go get the. I was about to say, what's Billy Kay and Sean Spears' wife?
The Iconics.
Iconics, yeah. I think one of them are pregnant right now, so I don't think that's gonna work. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. So, but they need to bolster the women's tag team division, and they need to actually do something with the men's tag team division because the Usos just have the belts hostage. Obviously,
I mean, they have the right man to do it.
Yeah, Yeah.
Triple H boosted
Triple H,
nothing
yeah.
but to the point where the tag teams used to start NXT, and then they ended up being the main event with
Yeah.
DIY.
Facts.
And they have DIY.
And they do
They
have
have that in
DI
their back
right on the
pocket.
they got it right there.
They are
got
there.
both of them there on the same. Yeah, that's true. They got it. They got something, man. And we've been hearing about the Creed brothers possibly be getting called. There's some tag teams in the company that they could probably do something with, man. We'll see what happens though. Yeah. All right. So let's show you guys the blunt ratings real quick. We can go through those. Let me see here real quick. Where's this? Oh, I didn't make a button for it. Sorry. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. The blunt ratings. Oh, let me get Fizz in here. The blunt ratings for Friday or for Monday Night Raw are as follows. I gave promos and backstage segments 3 1/4. A lot of standard stuff. Seth Rollins' promo was pretty good. Matt Riddle made a weed joke. Nothing new there, but always appreciated. Nothing spectacular. There was no Bray Wyatt segment. JBL had the best promo work on the show. Like it was what it was. Like he definitely had the best promo work on the show. So 3 1/4 for promos and backstage segments. Matches I gave 3.5 because the wrestling was decent. The women's match was unfortunately, but Corbin and Ziggler wrestled a good match. I just didn't care about it. You know what I mean? It's like, Riddle and Seth had a really, really good match. I just didn't care about it. You know what I mean? It's like they were giving, there was a lot of returns and stuff like that, and we were getting new, fresh matches and rivalries, but these just felt like regurgitated things. It felt like I already saw this episode of Monday Night Raw. So I feel like 3.5 was just being nice and just going strictly by what the category is, and that's the wrestling matches. Storytelling, I gave 3 1/4. Again, the whole damage control, I'm intrigued by the Miz stuff now, right, Fizz? Like it was dragging out a little bit, but now they kind of added another layer. I'm intrigued. So, that's kind of reeled me in. I still can't.
Oh, and it just hit me. I mean, we don't know where Tommaso Ciampa is, but now that Johnny Gargano is in the fold, I mean, it won't take much for Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa to get back together.
It's easy. He's clearly not with The Miz, and Johnny is trolling The Miz. It's like they already have you know what I mean? Like Tommaso shows back up, and Johnny goes and trolls. Like, bro, you really hanging out with The Miz? You know what I mean?
And even if they start beefing, we already know what it looks like.
I'll take that too. I'll take that too, because that was, you know what I mean? That worked just as well as them being a team, if not better, honestly. That was some of the greatest matches and moments in the history of NXT with those two feuding. So I would not be opposed to that. But I think you need to remake them a team on the main roster and possibly build. You could tell that story all over again on the main roster, honestly. You could do that shit all over again, and no one would care because of how good it definitely will be. So I think they could definitely connect those guys that way. But storytelling was decent on the show last night. I like that Bobby and the whole opening with Bobby and Brock that, kind of got me into wanting to see that match, even though it was something I already wanted to see. Now I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's a lot of stuff going on around the U.S. title. That's why I said, the show was mid card. You know what I mean? Because that's what it felt like. It felt like most of the show was after the Brock and Bobby segment, everything else was some mid card shit. You know what I mean? And that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like
you got to build it up.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Once they can finally take that belt off of Roman, because that's really the main issue. Roman doesn't have to do as many shows anymore, so he doesn't have to appear anymore. So until you can take that belt off of him, this is just how it's going to have to be. And you got to build everybody up. So when it happens, and you have the mid card build up, you have the tag team division build up, and you have the main event build up, and you're good to go. Yeah.
Takes time. I'm patient. Triple H is doing what he's doing a really good job. So I give him the benefit of the doubt with everything he's doing. The crowd, obviously, super mid all night. Commentary was super mid all night. That new guy, was Kevin Patrick? Get him the fuck off my TV screen. Get him the fuck out of here,
It's
bro.
going to take a while for
Get
him
the fuck out of here.
Take a while.
Let me do commentary, nigga.
Learning on the job.
I'm more exciting than that nigga. Put me on commentary right now. JBL buried this nigga so bad. I was like, he's gonna go cry in his car. At the end of JBL's promo, he's like, I don't know what to say now. He was shook. I was like, man, get this dude. Where's fucking Byron Saxton? Put Byron knows how to handle himself now. At least he could troll people back and talk shit back. This dude's just out there getting eaten alive by JBL. And he don't add nothing to the show. He's not like doing like play-by-play. Like he doesn't do play-by-play at all. He's not like calling out moves and shit. Like so I'm like, what the fuck is he there for? Like Corey Graves is doing everything. Man, get him the fuck off my TV. That was a horrible decision. You know what I mean? I'd rather hear Booker T than this motherfucker. That shit was man, that shit was bad. He's bad. Jimmy Smith is way better, even though he's a dickhead out here calling wrestling fake and shit. Fuck you, bro. We know it's not real. You work for the company. You signed a contract, didn't you, bitch? Now it's fake. I'm working for. Shut the fuck up, Jimmy Smith. But I'd rather hear him than Kevin Patrick. And both of them motherfuckers boring as shit. But Kevin Patrick is annoying boring. It's like, yeah, I can't do it. Get him the fuck off my TV screen. Like, it was the worst decision Triple H has made during his regime is changing the commentary team and putting him on the desk. It's bad.
I mean, it's the thing of going because they do it all the time. I mean, when Corey Graves started, he was not good. It's just that as time goes on, they eventually get there. And
but Corey Graves knew the wrestling moves. He could do play-by-play a little bit because he knew the wrestling moves and he was a wrestler. So even when Corey Graves first started, he was like clunky, and he was with Michael, so it definitely helped him. But his energy and everything was like you knew that he wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, once he gets used, he's gonna be great at this. I feel like the biggest
issue with Kevin is he doesn't know when to jump in. Because there's a lot of times where they're just basically talking over each other. Because then there'll be times where Kevin's about to call a move, but while he's trying to call a move, and then Corey's calling a move. They got to figure out what their actual chemistry is. And when one person could talk and when person doesn't talk.
I don't want to hear him talk. I hate his voice. His voice is bad for commentary, bro. It's bad.
They want one international person and one regular person. That's kind of what we're doing.
Is that what we're doing?
Have you not noticed for Raw and SmackDown?
Where the fuck is Nigel McGuinness? Why you just let him leave the company, dickheads? He was literally signed to the company. Just like let Nigel McGuinness do the shit. Pay that man. He was fucking phenomenal in his job. Or you know what? Here's a better idea. Where the fuck is Mauro Ranallo? I'm sorry. Where the fuck is Mauro Ranallo? Why? I mean,
I don't think he's ever.
You bring JBL back, but not Mauro Ranallo. I would have definitely took the other. Because, I mean, obviously, Mauro that's why he's not because of JB. But come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, that was a terrible decision as far as the commentary team. And I hope they fix it because, I mean, he ain't going to lose his job. He'll still be with the company, hopefully. I don't pray for nobody to lose their job. But that ain't the job for him. He need to be doing something else. You know what I mean? On God. That shit is terrible. Like, I ain't never felt this. Like, this is Adnan Virk Part 2. Let's call it what it is.
The only way I feel like Mauro will come back is if he will only do pay-per-views.
That would be fine with me.
I don't think he would never do that schedule.
He's a big fight guy. Like let him do the big fights. That it makes perfect sense. Like have him be the third man because apparently Michael Cole and Corey Graves are doing all of the commentary. It would definitely be interesting hearing Mauro and Michael Cole go back. Michael Cole corny as shit and Mauro Ranallo hip as shit. It would definitely be that way. And Corey Graves is obviously, in the middle kind of, so it would be interesting. I think it could work. Bring Mauro back, man. He needs to be on some kind of wrestling programming. I know he does the real fight shit, but I need Mauro in my life because he's one of the best wrestling commentators that I've ever heard. He used to have NXT lit. Be 100 people in the audience. He made it feel like it was 20,000. You know what I mean? How excited he was.
WON's best television announcer 3 years in a row.
Yeah, man. That dude is a fucking
2015
legend.
to 2017.
You know what I mean? A fucking legend. But obviously the show barely got a silver blunt last night. 3.1, the bottom of the barrel when it comes to silver blunts. But silver blunt nonetheless. Decent show, watchable show. Like I said, better than that Monday Night Football game. The Broncos are hard to watch. It's a terrible, terrible team. And I needed 3 points to win a fantasy matchup from Mike Boone. He got 0.9. I wanted to stab myself in the eyeballs. I was like, you just signed Latavius Murray, and they just benched poor Mike Gordon. I mean, I get it, he drops the ball a lot, but damn, man, it's like you literally got this dude off the trash heap, and he's the starting running back. All of a sudden, Mike Boone had a good game last. I'm frustrated. I lost by 1 point, and I'm really frustrated. So, fucking fantasy football takes over my life for 4 months. But yeah, that's it for today. Fizz, you got anything else, man, before we get up out of here? See what the chat talking
No,
about.
not at all.
Dolph was the next champion for a couple months. Was NXT champion for. Damn, I almost forgot about that. I'm still not putting any extra respect on his name for that. That's nope. I like
Kevin Owens is going to be on NXT tonight.
That is false. That is absolutely false. I am not into those things. And if you are, that's perfectly fine. Just not me. Just not me. So we need Adnan Burke and Mike. Oh my God. No. I would stab myself in the eyeballs and the earlobes if I had to listen to those two on commentary. Corey Graves talks too damn much. I mean, you're supposed to talk too much when you're in commentary. This ain't New Japan. Like, you gotta talk. Like, people gonna talk. They gonna like you. What you want? You want the pandemic era to come back? You want to be quiet as a. I mean, there's moments where they could let it breathe. You know what I mean? Like if the wrestler's doing a taunt or something or hyping up the crowd, they let it breathe because you got the interaction between the wrestler and the crowd. But for the most part, when the wrestling match is happening and there's wrestling happening, somebody needs to be talking about it. That's the whole point. So I don't think he talks too much. You know what I mean? He's better than most of the people they got. Like, who's better than him? Like does Pat McAfee talk too much? Like, cause I feel like Michael Cole has to calm him down, right? Physics. Like, there's moments where Michael Cole's like, all right, man, let me get the fucking promo in. I gotta say this real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think but that's their role, to be overly excited and, you know what I mean, and hype and make everything feel hype. So I don't think he talks too much, man. Scott Steiner not finishing that one. We need to hire Michael Buffer to a net. No, we don't. That's not necessary. That's a lot of money for one trademarked line. That's way too much. That's literally all he's there for. Let's get ready to run. I'm not even going to say it because he's going to try to demonetize my channel and steal all my money if I ever make any. So I ain't even going to say it. He petty with that shit, him and his brother. So that's it for this episode of the Blunt Ratings, man. I guess we'll be back tomorrow for NXT and Dynamite, or Dynamite Blunt Ratings. I might talk about NXT too, because it's damn near SmackDown in a Raw Invasion. So definitely be back tomorrow. So you guys lock in with us. I'll be here bright and early as always around 11:30. So lock in with your boy. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I know you guys have already, but if you're watching this later, you know what I mean? Make sure you hit that like button and hit that big red subscribe button. We almost at 500, baby. We creeping up on that 500 number real close. You guys already got us almost at like 7,000 watch hours. So we're close to monetization. We're gonna start dropping some new content here on the channel soon. Do some more reaction videos as well. So looking forward to giving you guys all of that. So for myself, Mr. HD, and the homie PHZ 6. You already know what it is. Everything is always too sweet. We up out of here, y'all. Deuces.